This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, Philippines. Mayang gabi sa Tibok, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, up to Sabah. Ako po si Eric Espina at ito ang inyong nag-iisang Republika. Napanood po natin kagabi ang naging pambansang paghihimpapawid ng ating Pangulo patungkol po sa kanyang pagpapaliwanag tungkol po sa Disbursement Acceleration Program. Sa gabing ito po ay tatalakayin natin ang mga bagay-bagay kung merong basehan, kung merong pundasyon, at atin ding ipapaliwanag kung masasabi nating ang kanyang mga ipinaabot sa sambayanan ay maaaring tumayo sa harap ng ating batas, higit sa lahat ay sa ating kataas-taasang konstitusyon. So tonight, we have invited a person, a veteran politician, unsanitized, vociferous, a continuous dreamer, outspoken, and one who does not speak with a forked tongue, but with a very sharp tongue, none other than Governor Omo Bono Adasa, Member of Parliament.
You were stretch on Omo, huh?
Omo, yes, not Homo. Yes, okay.
I'm always glad to be here with you. But I'm wondering why you speak Tagalog very fluently. I was thinking that you're like me, who can hardly speak Tagalog and speak fluent Cebuano.
I had to learn that, Manong, in a matter of 3 days. Before a job, I had to get so.
That's quite excellent. Huh?
Yes, no choice. But with regards to, I'm sure you saw the national broadcast of the
Yeah,
president.
the outrageous national broadcast
Okay.
of the president.
Okay, and people would like to get a sense, you being, if I might say that, a person of history, being not only involved in history, but partly one who also made history and is also writing history with your several books, and having been also right in the middle of the thick of things when then the mother of this president, then Cory Aquino, was right among your midst, no? And you were in the strategy and in the planning. First question, what's your just off-the-cuff reaction in terms of the statement of President Noynoy Aquino?
The first reaction I had is, I was thinking he was in the National Center for Mental Health.
Okay.
I mean, he was talking to an audience that belongs to the National Center for Mental Health.
Okay.
With the lies that he was spewing there,
Uh-huh.
and the misinterpretation of the Constitution and the law,
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, why were those people clapping?
Okay.
Something must be wrong somewhere there.
Uh-huh.
Because what he was telling us is not correct.
Okay.
The basic misinterpretation, as a result probably of ignorance or something else, are his statements about the Constitution and the law.
Uh-huh.
He says that the Supreme Court did not declare the DAP as unconstitutional.
Mhm.
And as a matter of fact, he was saying that his basis for pursuing the DAP was a provision in the administrative
Code, yes.
His lawyers should have told him that the Constitution is higher than the administrative code. Why in heaven's name doesn't he know that? The first year student at any college of law in the Philippines
Or
knows that very well.
Or political science
Or
graduate.
political science graduate
Okay.
for that matter. Why should he say that? That's an outrageous statement coming as it does from the president because it insults us. It insults the country in effect. But the president of the Philippines does not even know his constitution.
Okay.
Second, he was saying that his defense is good faith. There is no such legal animal as good faith when you are charged with a serious offense.
That is not a defense, you're saying?
That is not a defense in
Okay.
any way because we are talking here like technical malversation.
Yes, yes.
That's a malum prohibitum offense.
Yes, yes.
That's not mala in se. Malum prohibitum meaning it's prohibited.
Yes.
It's like crossing the street in a non-pedestrian lane. Whether your intention is good or not makes no difference.
It's just simply prohibited.
Simply prohibited.
Yes.
And they committed crimes because these are prohibited.
Uh-huh.
And these are constitutional offenses. No?
Uh-huh.
Impeachable.
Uh-huh.
Because as presented by many other people who know what they're doing, is at first, this could be a case of technical malversation.
At the very least.
At the very least. This can be a case of bribery. And it's mentioned in the Constitution under Article 11, Section 3,
Okay.
about the crimes that are included in impeachment. It's a violation, Section 3, Paragraph E of the Anti-Graft Law, 3019. It's a violation also of Section 4 of Republic Act 6713, Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards. These are malum prohibitum offenses. What are you talking about? Good faith? My
And
God, the road to hell is also paved with good intentions.
I think that's also the explanation under Article 3 of the Civil Code regarding ignorance of the law.
Yeah, ignorancia lihe
Yes.
excusat. Ignorance of the law does not excuse anyone from compliance.
And it doesn't matter whether you do it in good faith or bad faith. You are liable for the consequences of the law.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, based on what he was saying, he was not doing it in good faith. He was doing it in absolute bad faith.
Okay. So there was premeditated, but if that's the right word for it, premeditated bad faith
Yes,
when he did that?
premeditated bad faith. If it were a case of murder, it's premeditated murder.
Okay.
Right? That's what they're saying. And he's even challenging the Supreme Court that the interpretation of the Supreme
Is
Court
wrong.
is wrong. By gum, he is not familiar with Section 1, Article 8 of the Constitution.
Okay.
The sole interpreter of the law in this jurisdiction is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has the final word on the interpretation of the Constitution or statutory law.
Politically, why do you think the president was pushed or cajoled to come up on national television to explain that? Because it was getting too hot in the kitchen?
Yeah, it was getting too hot. It's like bibingka.
Okay.
He's in the oven
Okay.
right now. And you know, this is a very strange development in a presidential system. In a presidential system, the president harvests the encomiums. He's praised for what everybody is doing. When there is a mistake, the mistake is done by the members of the cabinet.
Yes.
Now the members of the cabinet are pushing him to acknowledge that he is at fault, not the members of the cabinet. It's a strange development.
When it should be the cabinet that should take the fall for
That
the
should take the fault
Uh-huh.
instead of the president. They said that the president has nothing to do with it. It is our fault. Mea culpa on their part.
So going down the line, who is culpable? If I might say that, let's start off down the list. Commission on Audit, culpable?
Yes, in a sense, they are because they allowed these expenses to be undertaken.
They are the first one. They should be watching over.
Of course, did not do their work well. And then,
Okay.
of course,
DBM,
Abad is the towering figure.
the towering inferno.
Yes, he is a towering figure in the towering inferno. No?
Okay.
And the several others.
And then the president?
The president, of course, he's primarily liable because under
That's where the buck stops.
under the Constitution, in his oath, I swear as President of the Philippines, to faithfully and conscientiously
Yeah.
perform my duties.
Yes.
Preserve and defend the Constitution.
Uh-huh.
Execute the laws.
Uh-huh.
Do justice to every man.
Uh-huh. And these are not
consecrate
supposed.
myself to the service of the nation.
And these are not legal punchlines. This is an oath of office.
Yes, these are duties of the President. Violation of these duties means that he's impeachable.
And why is the oath of the president even imprinted in the Constitution?
It is in the Constitution.
Why? Why? So that the people will understand
because
this.
the oath of the President is in the Constitution.
sacred?
Because it's sacred, yes.
Okay.
It's a sacred oath. Otherwise, it would have been outside of the Constitution. But the fact remains is it's integrated into the Constitution.
Okay.
And the person who becomes president should know his responsibilities.
Should understand what is the gravity of the oath of office he is entering into.
Yes, I'm afraid that
He does not know this.
he does not understand this.
Okay. When you talk about appropriate charges, what do you think should be the appropriate charge for the COA?
For COA, it will also be under the Anti-Graft Law and Corrupt Practices Act.
Okay.
It will also be in Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards.
Okay. Because
And
they didn't do their jobs?
They didn't do their job.
Oo.
That's their duty to see to it. People like these, independent commissions,
Okay.
they should know what the Constitution is all about.
Uh-huh.
And they should be familiarized with their own work.
Okay.
Whether their work violates the Constitution or not.
Okay.
If you do not do your work under the Constitution, you're also impeachable.
How about DBM now? What should be the appropriate charge?
Well,
Down the line.
Down the line.
Technical malversation.
Violation of the Anti-Graft Law, violation of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards,
Okay.
and
Now,
several more could arise.
Now, you're aware that people are asking for the head of the Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management. But the President stands by Secretary Butchabad.
Yeah, he does not understand it very well that if he does not chop the head of a bud, the head that may be chopped next
Is
will be
his. But as you said, this is mala prohibatum.
Yeah, mala prohibitum.
Yes. So the question is, why doesn't the President realize that the charge of technical malversation is by itself was already committed, irregardless of whether he defends him by saying, this was good faith. It went to good projects.
And besides, he's saying that these people should not be judged. They should be judged after court hearing.
Okay.
There is probable cause here.
Yes.
Clear case of probable cause. It's not the fault of the people.
Okay.
It's not anybody's fault, but the President and the members of his cabinet who are involved in this great violation of the Constitution and many provisions of our laws.
Is the President trying to obfuscate the issue by again veering away the argument from legal principles and making it an issue of morality in terms of, it did good, it was for a good intention, and that way people are somehow taken to the side and would rather look at the morality of the action rather than the legality of the action?
That's a dangerous approach on the part of the President.
Oo.
A number of people here, number of people are saying that the President is involved in immoral activities.
Okay.
For instance, I'm not saying that it's true, but
Okay.
I hear a number of people that there are 2 people governing the country, 3 as a matter of fact.
And these
One-
are, okay,
And it's immoral.
there are 3 people running the
Government,
executive department.
yes, not just the executive department, the government.
Okay.
One of them is, would you like to know the name?
Yes, yes.
That I've heard.
Yes,
I've
yes,
heard.
yes.
I have to test them yet.
Yes.
Whether it's true or not. One of them is the sister of the President,
Okay.
Bolse,
Yes.
Aquino Cruz.
Okay.
A lot of people are telling me that she's the one running the country.
Could it be whispering proximity without authority? Is that what you're saying?
That's the most dangerous because that's immoral.
Because there's no accountability?
Yeah, there's no accountability, and this is not provided for in the Constitution or any of our laws to the effect that she has authority to do that.
Okay.
And the President should obey her.
Okay.
Very dangerous.
Before you go to the second and the